Hello everyone, welcome to another review. Today we're reviewing the Samsung Galaxy A51. Samsung has released the A series phones and these phones have been very popular. These phones have been in some cases a testing ground for new features of Samsung, and these phones make you ask a legitimate question, which is, do you need a flagship in 2020? And the reason why that is an important question because these phones perform so well. They do so many things that a flagship would do. And in many cases, they look like flagships themselves. That many would wonder, why do you need to go and spend 1,000 US, 1,400 US, 1,500 US and more for a cell phone when you can do most of what you need to do with a flagship? So I'm just going to do a brief review of this phone, and what I'm really looking to ask, and the question that I'm really looking to answer is, do you need to get a flagship phone? And rather, should you get this phone? So, with that out of the way, let's get into the actual review. Now, the Samsung Galaxy A51 was released in December of 2019, and it's currently selling for about 250 US to 300 US, depending whether you get a 64GB version or whether you get the 128GB version. Now, it has a beautiful 6.5-inch Super AMOLED screen. It has 128GB of storage, 4GB of RAM, and is powered by Exynos 9611 processor with 4000 milliamp battery. It is a trend that phones have been getting larger and larger batteries, especially since they solved the issue of the exploding phones. So the batteries are larger now and they can last longer. So you don't need to worry as much as you used to about the phone running out before the day is done. This phone also has 5 cameras. There's one in front, which is a 32 megapixel wide camera, which is very important because it has a feature that allows it to actually crop in and crop out. And then there is, at the back, you would find 4 camera sensors, one being the 40 megapixel standard camera, the 12 megapixel ultra wide, the 5 megapixel macro, and the 5 megapixel depth sensor. You also find it standard flash, and there's no other sensor, so this is a phase detect autofocus camera.
Now this phone unfortunately lacks water and dust resistance.
But I mean, at this price, do you even expect it? In some cases, these phones are to some extent some level of waterproof, but really and truly, there's no need to expect water and dust resistance at this price. It has a headphone jack, which I am grateful for. I think many persons will be grateful for as well. It also has fast charge 2.0, which is 50-watt charge, and it's currently running on Android 10, and we're probably getting an update to Android 11. What it means is that this phone is pretty good. It is fast, it is responsive, and in many ways it feels like a flagship from the past that has been placed in the body of a mid-ranger. All the people might complain about lack of premium feel and whatever else. If you look at this phone, there is nothing here that lacks premium or screams that it is poor or whatever people might want to say. The phone feels good in the hand, and it is light, but at the same time not too light. It has a good heft to it, and it is probably less fragile, because one of the benefits of plastic is that it's less fragile. However, given that it only has Gorilla Glass 3 in the front, I would still want to put at least a case on to give it some level of protection and some level of scratch. Because if you're going to spend your money, and money is precious either way, you still want to ensure that what you have lasts long. And you won't want to put scratches on this beautiful screen, by the way. Now, since we mentioned the screen, the screen is at a 6.5 inch. It is a 1080 by 2400 screen, and it has some really good viewing angles. It is bright, vibrant, sharp, and I don't know if you can tell the difference between it and another AMOLED phone, but this is pretty good, and it's a pretty good screen on any phone, not just a mid-ranger. Okay, now there's nothing special on the body itself. the SIM tray that I note, it has a nano SIM, the SIM tray, it holds two SIMs, and in addition to that, it can hold a micro SD card, which is very useful for budget use. The speaker grill is just a button firing speaker. There is no front facing speaker. Now you can change the screen or change this phone into night mode. So there's dark and light. You can actually change the screen mode to natural or vivid, whichever one you like. And once you're in vivid, you can actually dial up or dial down the levels. Like right now, I really can't see much difference between the first and the second, but if you can, I mean, of course, it has the always on display. So I mentioned the always on display, and in here you can actually customize it. So you can actually show the different clock styles, auto brightness. You can always customize it to how you would want it, but it's not as customized as some phones. Since the clock style, you're basically limited to these designs and the color. So either way, it's still good to see this on a mid-range phone. Let's quickly go into the camera and the audio test in itself. Now, one of the things that I really liked about this phone was that the audio is good. The speakers are loud. They may not be loud as some other phones, for example the LG G7, but they're still quite loud. And it's quite clear as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you tempo run. So fast it loads, and now you see this button firing. So if you close it, you won't hear much, but point it towards you, you'll hear even better. This is as loud as it can go, but this is still pretty good. Alright, so I'm not really done now. I'm just going to show you some sample photos, and you let me know what you think about it.
What you would notice is that the colors have the usual Samsung saturation, but that's not exactly a bad thing because it's still pleasing to the eye. But one thing I really noticed was the difference between the colors between the photos and the video. As you can see right now that the video is a bit washed out. I'm not sure why, but there is a mark between the two, and that is something that needs to be taken into account. Now when you look at stabilization, you can see the video is still washed out, and that the 1080p is smoother than the 4K video at the same frame rate. So this is something to note as well about the camera and the video performance.
Facing video with the Samsung Galaxy A51. Okay, as you can see, the highlights, alright, the sky is totally blown out. It looks like there is a white mess behind me with a nice little coconut tree. My face, the color tones, they look okay, could be better. Overall, this is my take on this phone. This phone is a pretty good phone to get for the price. It is a no-brainer deal, and it's a phone that, because of the quality of it built, it should last for some time as well. The processor is fast, it's responsive. In answering the question, should you get it? If you're just looking to get a phone to do most of what you need to do, if you want to take good pictures during the day, you want to take good pictures at night, if you just want a decent camera that can take decent photos for your Instagram, your Snapchat, or whatever else you want to take photos for, this is a perfect phone for that. It takes good photos. So it's really good for content consumption, and overall I can say without a doubt, without any hesitation, it is a phone that you can get. Now, do you need a flagship? I still think flagships are needed. Flagships are the phones that push everything to its limit, and because it pushes everything to the limit, it makes it available, or it makes it possible for you to have phones like this, whereby it doesn't exactly push it to the limit, but it means that persons don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get high quality specs. So I would recommend this phone, and if you like what you've seen today, then I ask you to press like. If you have any suggestions or questions, then feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you again